Hello there, I'm Peter Alsop, and our song to chew this week comes from my Uh-Oh album. It's called Pat Your Daddy on the Knee. Kids and parents really like this one. Like most all of my family music songs, there are important life lessons to be learned by adults when we scratch the surface of these kids' songs. Even adults who don't have kids yet have told me that they learn from doing what we do on this podcast. We chew on the song a bit and discover that the little life lessons that help children can also help their parents. It can also be very healing for grown-ups who aren't parents yet, because they're still figuring out how to find a life mate or how to get ahead in their job or their chosen profession. So, let's listen to our song to chew for today from my album, Uh-Oh. Here's Pat Your Daddy. Pat your daddy on the knee.
Pat your daddy on the knee.
Smile at him and say,
Smile at him and say,
there, Dad.
there, Dad.
Everything will be okay. If your dad's exhausted from working all day long, sit down gently next to him, then softly sing this song and pat your daddy on the knee.
Pat your daddy on the knee.
Smile at him and say,
Smile at him and say,
there, Dad.
there, Dad.
Everything will be okay. Now if your mom looks worried because there's something wrong, give your mom a great big hug, then you can sing this song and pat your mommy on the knee.
Pat your mommy on the knee.
Smile at her and say,
Smile at her and say,
there, Mom.
there, Mom.
Everything will be okay. Now fixing grown-up problems really not for kids to do. But sometimes grown-ups need our help because they're human too. It's true, so pat your grown-up on the knee.
Pat your grown-up on the knee.
Smile at them and say,
Smile at them and say,
there, grown-up.
there, grown-up.
Everything will be okay. There, Mom.
There, Mom.
Everything will
be okay.
There, Dad.
There, Dad.
Everything will be okay. I wrote this song because during a car ride with my daughter Megan, I was feeling really grumpy for some reason. And we were driving along and she was sitting in the front passenger seat next to me. This was back when little kids could sit up front with their seatbelt on, but nowadays she would have had to be in the back seat in a kid's car seat because it's safer that way. But there she was, just watching the trees go by as we drove down through Topanga Canyon Boulevard where we live. And she simply said to me, "Hey, Dad." And I said back to her, "What do you want?" Because I was grumpy, remember? Do you think she knew I was feeling grumpy? Of course. Kids know when their parents are feeling grumpy. And she was great. She didn't cry or say anything at first. She just looked at me and then she reached over and patted me on my knee and said very sweetly, there, Dad, everything's going to be okay." And she smiled at me. And I said, because I yelled at her. And isn't it nice when someone you love knows you're having a rough day? Yeah, it is. So I said, "Thanks, Megan. That helps. I love you a lot." And she patted me on the knee again. And I promised myself that I was going to write a song about how sometimes grown-ups get help from their kids, even though it's not a kid's job to take care of their parents. But sometimes it really helps. And it feels good to let someone else know that we love them. Everyone has grumpy, rough days sometimes. Did you ever have someone give you some support when you weren't expecting it and it helped you feel better? Sure. Because when that happens, we usually want to do that for someone else, right? So, what are the hidden messages in this song for young adults who may not be parents yet? Well, I think everybody in the whole world has things that happen to us as we grow up that are painful and disturbing. It might be a really, really difficult thing, like when parents fight or hit or get violent or maybe get divorced, or maybe it was something not so dramatic, like being embarrassed at school in front of a lot of friends. Every one of us has different kinds of rough times, but they happen to each of us in our early lives. And because we don't want those rough times to come back again, the memory of what happened to us, the trauma, affects our decisions about the kind of work we choose and who we fall in love with, or how we respond when we feel afraid that maybe a tough time's going to happen to us again if we're not careful. Well, this song can help us turn things around exactly because we've had some difficult times. And when we see that something's happening to someone else, even if we don't know what it is, something upsetting, we can show up for them. We just have to give them some support. Maybe pat them on the knee or on the back or ask them if they want a hug. Even if we didn't get much of that kind of support ourselves, this song gives us a model to help us remember how to support other folks. Maybe we did get that kind of support from our parents or our friends, or maybe even from our siblings or coworkers. But now that we're aware of how folks need help sometimes, we can remember how Megan helped me, or just remember some of the other kinds of caring things your parents or your friends did for you when you were upset. Or think of something new. That's what Megan did. I appreciated it so much that I still try to do that for others when I can. Lift folks up, give them some support. And if we love them, tell them that we love them. Seems pretty simple, and it goes a really long way, because then those people will pass on that caring kind of behavior to others who need support. And for you songwriters out there, you'll notice that I made this a repeat after me song, and sometimes there's a sing along with me line in the chorus, and that helps everyone get in the frame of mind where we each help each other and sing along with each other while we pat each other on the back or the knee. See that? If you look, you can find useful stuff in kids' songs. I'm Peter Alsop. I'll be back next week with another song to chew. Bye for now.